Hi guys, welcome. We are at Long Beach, California, FedEx flight 123. We're going to fly from Long Beach to Miami. Long flight, heavyweight, up within 10,000 pounds of our max takeoff weight. We have documentation for engine failure, which we're going to try today. Takeoff. It's all the way down here on the FSS documentation. Basically D2 plus 10 till 800 feet, and then clean it on up. Don't sink, and clean it up. Come back in. Let's set up our approach. We'll talk about our approach. If we got to go around, 2 and 3 engines that go around to the same. Going around, set go around power, flaps 15, positive rate, you're up at about 1,000 feet above the ground. At 160, go flaps to 5, 190, go to 2, and 200, go to 0. And now that we know all that, let's come inside and set this thing up. Set 3,000 as our initial altitude here. We're going to do this all raw data, guys. Going to have a little fun here. I didn't even set the INS up. Just want to see how it performs. So for me, I need to get down here. Obviously, we don't have the ability to fail an engine through malfunctions here, so I'm just going to do it on my own by shutting the throttle off. Pre-flight, upload it, Long Beach to Miami, put the fuel in, make it fast. We're all loaded up. You can see our weight is 186.9, and our runway limited weight's 185.8. Load this up. Set our trim. V2 is 148, so V2 plus 10 is 158. You got that all set, and we'll close it out. Trim is set. Flaps are 15. All right, here we go. The weather's what it is. We're gonna be able to see the runway. For our radios, we would set up for our engine out. If we had to come back in here, there's no VOR in the field, guys. It really isn't. So you basically, and the INS is inoperative today. So you'd be using the ILS for situation awareness. We're not going to cheat and use Navigraph. There's 110.3. We've got 301 is the course. The decision altitude is 220. And here we go. Yeah, in order to fail an engine, I'm just going to have to sit way back, reach down, and shut off. I'm going to probably shut off the #1 engine. Okay, so here we go. Brakes are off. I'm going to hold the brakes while I bring the power up to 50%. It's good. Now bring mine up to 2.0. I'm holding the brakes since we're using a lot of the runway. All right, here we go. Brakes released. What could go wrong? All raw data. Car set. Forward stick pressure. Check. Probably going to use most of the runway in this long flight to Miami. Red and white lights alternating, 2,000 feet remaining. Pretty much our unstick. Here we go, just about 5 to 6 degrees. Engine failure #1. Runway heading. I've got right ruddering, gear up. Maintain V2 plus 10. About 10 degrees, right rudder, 301 heading, 158. It's climbing out pretty good. Engine failure #1, mayday, 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 FedEx 123. We'd like to go runway heading 3,000, head engine failure, sir. Now the radio altimeters, we're going to get our 800 feet for our engine out. Acceleration is 158. There's 600 feet. And all we're going to do is lower the nose enough until we don't get a sing. Start cleaning up at 160, 190, 200. There's 800, lower the nose. I don't know, somewhere in there. Don't sing. Wait for 160. Flaps 25. Holding that right rudder in. Maintaining runway heading for obstacle clearance. Getting a little bit of a sing. So we're going to raise the nose up. Here's 180. Zero sink. 190, we can go to flaps 2. Trying to fight for that heading, extended center line. About 7 degrees nose high. All right, there's 190. I feel comfortable. Flaps 2. And at 200, we can go flaps up. All right, there's 200 flaps up. And I called for checklist. And what he's going to do is throttle, number 1 throttle to idle. I've got it idle here. Number 1 fuel control cutoff switch to cutoff. He goes to cutoff and start the APU. No need to pull the fire handle. Engineer has some stuff he has to do. And we get our clean in maneuver. From 250, I'm going to set continuous power. There we are, right about there. Let's bring it back up. We don't want to over boost the other engines. And yeah, but we'll take a turn to crosswind. Let them do that. A little bit of trim nose up. Time into 3, 210 on the heading. Like I said, we don't have a VOR on the field. We don't have an INS today. So we're just climbing up to 3. It's 30 degrees of bank right there. 210 on the heading. Yeah, not the best for situational awareness without air traffic control, but we'll give it a shot. I'm also not getting the DME reading. What is that about? History. Let's try 5 degrees nose high when we roll out. Bring the throttles back. Right about there. 2.5, 3. That's too much. 5 degrees. Come on. Trying to trim it up. Little low. Come on, let's try 6 degrees. What's happening is I'm slowing down, so I need to bring my pitch up a little bit. There's 210. 230 knots is fine. Do a landing analysis. See if I can do this while I do it, right guys? Set EPR, set speed. I gotta do an after takeoff checklist. Not easy. We are at 3, guys, by the way. And there it is. All right, we can take a turn to crosswind now. 120. At takeoffs, let's do approach check at the altimeter set. All right, so we call up our company, let them know what happened. We told ATC if we have any passengers on board this cargo flight, we'd let them know we have to return. We'd ask for fire and rescue just because we don't know what caused that engine to fail. Have us take a look over before we put ourselves around any ground personnel with possible fluids and things coming out. We are heavyweight, so the possibility of hot brakes does exist. No dump, just come back around. Now, this downwind, we'd want a no-wind heading. So probably 120, I don't know what the winds were. I'd have to look, but I'd ask the FO to give me the winds from, well, we don't have one off the INS, but maybe the takeoff winds. About 4 degrees nose high, 130. So that's a little bit dripped out. I'd rather do that than drift in towards the runway. A little bit of rudder trim, trying to trim hands off. About 5 degrees. Trying to maintain my altitude. see this ILS pointer. Some ILSs park at the 9 o'clock position like that, but this one actually points towards the field. What I don't like is we're not getting any DME readout at all off the ILS, which I don't understand why we're not getting. That would help immeasurably. So what we're going to have to do is make sure that we have that needle is pointing pretty far behind us, probably at least to a 350 course before we start our turn at 3,000 feet. I'm not in a hurry to lose any altitude. All right, so that should be wide enough. So I'll start easing my way back over to our no wind heading of 120. Maintaining 3,000. We can start getting that speed back a little bit. .200 I can go flaps 2. There's a no wind. 120. Rudder's still in there. A little low. As the airplane slows down here, I'm going to have to get my nose up with no flaps. We can go flaps 2 when we get below 200. There's 200. I'll get the flaps to 2. See what that gives us for a pitch. Probably looks like about 4 degrees, maybe. More like 5 or 6. 200, more like 7.5. No, we have 7 degrees. And what do we have set for power here? About 75%. Number 3 is a little low. All right, so checklist complete, company's notified. The head is falling over here. Remember, 301 is our final approach course. I'm trying to do this without, I don't want to cheat and use Navigraph or anything. Little speed problems there. I am going to want to do that before landing check to get the spoilers armed and the speed brakes armed, spoilers rather, and auto brakes on. Fighting to maintain it. Yeah, it's finally trimmed up. Way over there. Go back in and see if this thing's doing anything I don't want it to do. Yeah, it's rolling. I took my rudder out when I looked. All right, 120. Drifting in a little bit. Getting a little hot too. 7 degrees we decided. All right, we can take a turn to base. Trim nose up when we do it. 7 degrees, come on. I'm working, guys. I'm working here. A little more power in the turn. Keeping that right rudder in for coordinated turn. Yeah, get that nose up. Nose up, 195 on the airspeed. Still no DME readout. Not good. We do have the glide slope showing up and the localizer. A little bit over 200. My old instructor said in T-37s, if you can hold 3,100, you can hold 3,000. Now we're back. Flies nice, guys. It really flies nice. Kind of winging it because I don't have a DME rate out. So I'm just going to use the glide slope when it comes down. Follow it down even if I'm displaced. You can see the head of the needle is falling through 325. We're looking for 301 on the final. So that's an indication. I think maybe we can cheat on over here since we're well below the glide slope. And get us to where we can possibly get that nose up. Nose up, 3,000, come on. I'm going to go to about a 340. Right about in there, 350. 3,000, looking for the glide slope. I start to see it come down here. We're below 190, we go flaps 5. Keep that altitude up 3,000. The head's falling through 315. The head's falling through 313. Going to start easing it on over there and lower the nose. There's the glide path to gear down. Too much on the glide path correction, guys. I want to get down. Don't want to get below the glide slope that much. There it is. It's throwing through 309, so the course should be coming off the wall here shortly. Landing checklist. See the glide slope here. Course is coming through 307. It's working out nicely. There we go. Course is going through 306. And we're getting high, so we'll start lowering the nose. And we're getting slow. Slow and high. There we go. Attaboy. Flaps are set. Gear set. Landing checklist complete. 303 on the course. A little slow. Look, shade that airspeed and altitude. There should be the course right about there. See it coming across? On speed. There we go. Start off with a 301 heading, see how it works out. All right. Pretty close. A little high. Coming down nicely. Trimming it up. Alright, on speed, half a dot high. Lower the nose a little bit. Probably 298 heading. Alright, we're on course, try a 301 heading. Sinking 1,000, so the glide slope should be coming up. Let's try a 303 heading. 303 on the heading. Getting a little hot, so power comes off just a half a knob width. I bet I can see the runway out there if I look now. Oh yeah, there it is. So let's do this. Staying on the instruments.
1,000.
Red over white on the Vazzies. Now when I pull the throttles to idle, I've got right rudder in. I'm going to have to kind of let that out a little bit, right? It's like about 1 degree nose low, 2 degrees nose low. We got to go around. It's going around. TOCA power, basically takeoff, go around power. Flaps 15. Pods rate gear up, submits approach altitude. Is that they're going to let us land though?
400.
Center line.
300.
Minimums.
200.
I know I'm red over red. I'm just doing visual.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20.
Rudder's coming out. Let's go to reverse on the 1 and 2 and 3. Center line. 80 knots coming out of reverse. And we stopped the aircraft. Pretty heavy, so we expect possibly to get break. I should have let it roll out a little more. That was fun. That was fun. After landing checklist, we'd run that and have the fire trucks look us over. If everything looks good, we tack the seat to the FedEx hangar. I don't know. What do you think? That was kind of fun. That was fun. Great airplane. This is a real nice flight model, this Flight Sim Studio. Very impressed. All right, guys. Father Time's out. If you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd help me out a lot. Woohoo! All right, guys. See you later.